See results starting day one with Genucel. Get 70% off Genucel's complete skincare package plus free shipping. That includes the dark spot corrector and more. Visit Genucel.com/scroll. That's Genucel.com/scroll. Welcome everyone to Nightly Scroll. I'm Hayley Caronia. Unfortunately, it has been 1 week since Charlie Kirk was assassinated, and a suspicious package was found near Turning Point's offices in Phoenix, inside what authorities are saying, plus a Charlie Kirk memorial vandalizer. Well, she effed around and she found out in a big way. Also, I've got a bunch of videos from elected Democrat officials, and all of their comments are certifiably stupid. So we're gonna have a whole segment of the show on that stupidity, something to look forward to. And an American tennis player is getting canceled, and I'm coming to her defense. Put your phones on Do Not Disturb. Nightly Scroll starts now. Turning Point USA's headquarters in Phoenix, Arizona, after a suspicious bag was left outside. This is according to police. And the bag was spotted outside the nonprofit. And essentially, the police are saying that a bomb robot arrived on the scene after these reports. And a bomb squad official dressed in an EOD suit came on the scene, and the street outside the building was cleared. It was still unclear if anything was found inside the bag, but authorities say that there is not a threat associated with the incident, and they will give out more details as they become available. Thankfully, nothing happened, right? Thankfully, nobody was hurt, but this just serves as a reminder to be on alert. Pay attention to your surroundings, protect yourself. I'm guilty of this. I walk around with my AirPods in, I'm listening to music, podcasts. Even this week, I was going grocery shopping and I thought, let me not put my AirPods in. After everything that happened this week, let me just not listen to music, not listen to anything. Let me not be distracted. And honestly, I saw a guy in the parking lot and he pulled in next to me, and something in me was just like, move your car. I don't know why. Something in me, I just got that gut feeling, and I would rather be safe than sorry. I listened to my gut feeling. I parked my car somewhere else. You never know. I just felt uncomfortable, and I'm going to be alert. So pay attention when you're out in public, secure your home, secure your car. Just a good reminder there. But Charlie's assassination and this latest potential threat will obviously not stop the movement. We've talked about this all last week, and this weekend, Charlie will be remembered at the Arizona Cardinals State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. And Turning Point USA released a list of not all of the speakers, just some of the speakers. So the event will feature remarks by Charlie's widow, Erica. President Donald Trump will be there. Vice President J.D. Vance will be there. White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles will be there. Secretary Marco Rubio, Secretary RFK Jr., Secretary Pete Hegseth, Director Tulsi Gabbard, Don Jr. is going to be there, Tucker Carlson, Stephen Miller, Sergio Gore, and others. I am interested to see who else will be speaking. If maybe Candace Owens, close friend of Charlie Kirk, will be in attendance. I haven't heard anything about that. Also, if there's another service for close family and friends, I'm not sure. But we haven't heard anything from his family members aside from Erica. So I wonder, I'm sure they will be in attendance, but we don't know. We don't have confirmation on any of that. But the high-profile speakers and attendees speak to how important Charlie's work was in the conservative movement. He wasn't just a talking head. He was reaching out to the generation that many people in the Republican Party cast aside. I think for years, it was just this accepted fact that liberals and Democrats had a stronghold on Gen Z and younger voting blocs, and Charlie completely slashed that narrative and turned it around for the better. He actually did the work necessary to not only reach that voting bloc, but to change their minds and get them to vote red. Seriously, that is why we're seeing Donald J. Trump and Vice President Vance admit we would not be here without Charlie Kirk. And just yesterday, Turning Point reported more than 30,000 new chapter requests. That number has gone up in a big way. So Turning Point just announced earlier today that now they've gotten 54,000 54,000, more than 54,000 new chapter requests. That is more applications than there are colleges and universities in the United States of America. So hopefully that means we now have every higher learning institution covered. This also comes as tributes have been pouring in at Utah Valley University, where Charlie lost his life and was assassinated. They hung a flag there in his memory, and this is in that quad circle area where the America Comeback Tour was taking place. So they have that flag there, which is very nice. Also, New Florida University has commissioned a statue. This is very cool. So they wrote this: "Today we announced that we will commission a statue of Charlie Kirk to honor his legacy and incredible work after his tragic assassination last week. The statue, privately funded by community leaders, will stand on campus as a commitment by New College to defend the fight for free speech and civil discourse in American life. The location for the statue will be announced in the coming months." But this is very cool. I love that he's sitting at a table and there are open chairs at that table, because that's what Charlie stood for. Come to the table and have this conversation with me. I saw someone else posted in the comments, there needs to be another open mic at those seats, which I think would be very indicative of how open-minded Charlie was. And it wasn't just Charlie being this mouthpiece. He was that, but he was also opening it up to conversation. So I think that would be a good addition if they're listening. I don't know.
It's going to be really neat to see people take photos with that. You know, those are
really cool.
That's really the cool design about statues like that. It's the ability to integrate within them. So, you know, he'll never go away. There'll be people tagging him forever.
Totally. And this is, I know we keep saying it, but it's a turning point. And I hope that at this inflection point right now, other colleges do the same, because free speech should be celebrated on college campuses. People go to college to find themselves, to learn, to figure out what they're going to do with the rest of their lives. And how can you figure out what you believe in if you're never challenged, right? It shouldn't be about indoctrination. It should be about what you learn and how you present yourself to society, how you carry yourself in public, in a professional setting, and how you grow up to be an adult. And I think Charlie set a really good example for that. So I hope more colleges do that. And all the vigils across the country have just been absolutely wonderful and peaceful, by the way. And I went to one on Monday night after the show. I was driving by and I saw a bunch of people with American flags. And I thought, is this for Charlie Kirk? It was. So I stopped by, and I'm so glad that I did, because it was just very moving. It was a lot of worship music and people talking about what Charlie did for them, not really personally, but just how he impacted them through his work. And it was really nice to see just how big of an impact Charlie had just around us right here. And all of these vigils have been happening all over the country. So very cool. But as we know, it hasn't been all positive responses since Charlie's death. And this woman, she is in the FO portion of FA and FO. So as we can see here, she was seen vandalizing a Kirk memorial.
No, look at this shit.
She's flipping the bird as she's kicking the candles, screaming F Charlie Kirk. What he did to her, not sure, other than maybe challenge her beliefs. But this is a 20-year-old Carrie Rollo. She is a student at Arkansas Tech University. She was identified as the suspect of the vandalism. That was a Charlie Kirk memorial outside of Benton County Courthouse in Arkansas. And her younger sister was also in that video with her. So she's the second individual involved. And Carrie? Yeah, her name's Carrie. She used to work at a restaurant called Bella Vista, and they issued a statement after this video had gone viral, and they said this: "We understand your outrage over this incident. The individual who defaced Charlie Kirk's memorial does not represent or define our company, nor the hardworking team that serves our community every day. This person's actions are not a reflection of our standards, values, or culture, please know that we are addressing this matter internally with the seriousness it deserves. Now, they did not explicitly say in that statement that she was fired. They just said that they were handling it. However, the vandal's sister, Hayley, made a GoFundMe. So if we could pull up that GoFundMe page, of course, it's called Fight Against Fascism, which obviously makes no sense. I mean, obviously, right? What fascism is she fighting? I don't know. Charlie Kirk is dead now, and she's kicking candles and flowers and letters left for him. Is this fighting fascism because she was fired from her job? I don't know. Can you guys read that? It's too small for me, but can one of you read that for me? I want you to read what she said. Okay. This is what Kaylee Rollo said. After the recent events, Charlie Kirk's death, my sibling and I are being doxxed online, and my sibling was fired from their job. This is a direct violation of their First Amendment rights and unconstitutional. Look how they're trying to flip the script. This is unfortunate, but anything helps. Please help my sibling while they look for another job. No, thank you. And stand against the tyranny that is creeping into the country. Lots of things to break down here. Don't take it down just yet. First of all, can we talk about their job, my sibling, all this gender neutral language here? So it's clear that the person who is kicking Charlie Kirk's memorial is a they, them freaking weirdo. So that tracks, because clearly the trans community and the gender queer, whatever community, the furry community, whatever, they have a problem with Charlie Kirk just questioning the trans community. Not showing hate like everyone in the mainstream media was saying, but just questioning and personally disagreeing with. That should be okay. If you go against that, then you're the fascist. Isn't it funny how they point the finger when they're the ones acting like the dictators? They're acting like children. So I got a kick out of the my sibling and their First Amendment right. First of all, kicking and vandalizing a memorial is not protected under the First Amendment. Speech is protected under the First Amendment. Peaceful protest is protected under the First Amendment. You cannot vandalize property and then be protected under the First Amendment. If she was saying F Charlie Kirk in that video like she was, that's protected. But kicking the memorial and vandalizing it is not. And that is why she lost her job. That is why she is in the FO portion of the FAFO. She effed around, and this is what happens. What is really disgusting to me is the GoFundMes for really shitty people and their shitty non-existent causes, the causes that they make up in their head. She is not a victim. I'm calling her she. Oops. She wouldn't like that too much, I don't think, but she would not like that. But she is not a victim. They give these crowdfunding platforms such a bad rap. We saw this with the kid who stabbed his classmate at the track meet a few months ago. I mean, we're setting up GoFundMes for people who do not deserve them. You lost your job because of your behavior. Own that and be held accountable. That is what accountability is. Want to take a quick break to tell you about Blackout Coffee. You know I love Blackout Coffee. I don't start my day without it, and you shouldn't either. So if you're like me and you need that caffeine fix fast in the morning, their coffee pods are a total game changer. These aren't your average grocery store pods. They're packed with fresh roasted, bold coffee made right here in Florida, and they work fast with those single-serve pod brewers. It's easy, and it's delicious, of course. I love all the flavors. They've got the cold brew that I love in the cans. That's also very easy if you're running out the door in the morning. They've got great flavors. I love the cinnamon. You open the bag, and it's like, woo, it smells so good. So it's not bitter, it's not stale. So just pop in one of these coffee pods and you are going to have a strong, smooth cup in just seconds. So if you're juggling kids, you're in work calls, back to back, this is your new morning lifesaver. And the best part is they ship nationwide, so it doesn't matter where you live. You can have Florida fresh coffee at your door in just days. Head to blackoutcoffee.com/scroll or use code SCROLL at checkout for 20% off your first order. All right. Remember yesterday when I was telling you about this ABC reporter? His name is Matt Gutman. ABC reporter Matt Gutman was just, he was just taken aback. He was just enthralled with this disgusting assassin's love story with his trans loser lover. So he has now backtracked his appreciation for the strange love story. Let's put this up here. He took to X in a thread, and he was just trying to explain himself just a little bit. He said this: yesterday I tried to underscore the jarring contrast between this cold-blooded assassination of Charlie Kirk, a man who dedicated his life to public dialogue, and the personal disturbing texts read aloud by the Utah County attorney at the press conference. He went on to say, I deeply regret that my words did not make that clear. Whew, okay. But let there be zero doubt here. I have unequivocally condemned this horrific crime and the pain it caused Charlie Kirk's family, those who were forced to witness it at UVU, and the millions of people he inspired. He said that the love story was touching. He said that it was touching, that, he showed so much love. So now he's saying, go back to the top part. What was he saying he made clear? Wait, go back to the second one. Sorry. Yeah, I guess he was trying to make clear that he didn't agree with what the killer did, but I don't know how he did that by saying that he appreciated their love story and thought it was so sweet. That's really not how you call out a cold-blooded assassin. But CNN's coverage has been just as bad, if not worse. I know this has gone viral and everyone's probably already seen this, but I had to call it out because I called out ABC yesterday, and CNN, the same thing. Montel Williams was on that godforsaken panel show with Abby Phillip and all these. Unfortunately, Scott Jennings has to sit at the table, and they've got, some conservative voices on there sometimes. God bless Scott Jennings, who has to deal with all this. But Montel Williams was on the panel last night. He was also obsessed with the killer's love story. Watch this.
There are people who are trying to pigeonhole this as a leftist thing and a right thing. And what we're really talking about, hear me because I'm going to throw you when I say this. We're talking about a love-torn child, a kid. This is probably his first real relationship, and somebody was disparaging the person that he loved. He sat on that building for 30 minutes before he took the shot. Why did he wait until the first word trans came up? Then he took the shot. You think he heard it? He could hear it? I think he could hear it. I think he also, I don't believe he was motivated politically. I think this was motivated emotionally. I think this was a emotionally stunted person who literally, when I say it this way, just hear me, tried to defend his significant other, not trying to defend some ideology.
He literally called him a love-torn child. He called him a kid in love. This was maybe his first love. This was a 22-year-old college student living on his own with his trans boyfriend. And also, you don't kill people because they disagree with you and you want to protect said trans boyfriend. You don't kill people to do that. Like, his life was not in danger. You do not do that. Then to claim that the killer wasn't motivated politically is a farce, and that this was just some crime of passion because he was so in love with this furry, obsessed tranny. He was not trying to defend trans ideology, but to defend this specific lover. He's giving a lot of grace to a murderer. He's giving a lot of grace to a cold-blooded assassin, which is very telling. This is how the left is trying to humanize the demonic killer now that they know that the suspect is one of theirs. I mean, they'll defend a wife-beating gangbanger in Kilmar Abrego Garcia, who was guilty of human trafficking and sent to CCOT, and then all the Democrats hopped on a damn plane and went to go visit him and take him out. Senator Van Hollen from Connecticut took him out for a margarita date. We've seen the left. They absolutely love the United Healthcare CEO murderer. They think that he's a sex symbol and he's just great. They were all celebrating yesterday because terrorism charges were dropped against him. This is the left. They will try to turn bad people and assassins into sympathetic characters. And on this same panel, conservatives have to fight for their lives against these liberal counterparts to admit that the gunman was politically motivated and that this is a trend that we're seeing. That was the argument by the Federalist Brianna Lyman. She's on our side. But when she was trying to make points on this panel, I mean, the left was just not getting it. Watch this.
I think it's easy for people who are not a conservative, and I know not everybody at this table is a conservative, but Charlie Kirk was murdered because he talked about God, family, country. Those are views that people like Scott and I hold dearly. If Charlie Kirk, a private citizen, can be targeted for those views, it makes us all feel like we have a target on our back. So it's easy for people who have constant security, who are in high places and don't think they're ever going to be targeted, to speak like this. But to the average conservative like myself, this is a scary time because one of our own was taken out. And I think what people have to realize about left-wing violence is it's not some made-up fantasy. There are 3 court cases going on today for assassinations: Luigi Mangione, Ryan Ruth, and Tyler Robinson. What do all 3 have in common?
I mean,
there
are lots of political trials for violence.
They're all left-wing.
Yes, but there's also, obviously, we went through, I mean, look, I actually think this whole debate of there's right wing, there's left wing. We should all say, I don't know why it's so complicated to say political violence of any kind is wrong.
Of course.
But we have obviously had massive levels of political violence on the right. There's actually a Department of Justice actually suppressed an article about it.
Yeah, there's a DOJ deleted a study showing that domestic terrorists are most often right wing. And here's what that study said. Since 1990, far-right extremists have committed far more ideologically motivated homicides than far-left or radical Islamist extremists, including 227 events that took more than 520 lives. In the same period, far-left extremists committed 42 ideologically motivated attacks that took 78 lives. Now, what you're saying about those 3 cases is important and relevant, that those things happened, but I think we need to not confuse the most recent for the most common. And
they will go to crazy lengths to excuse this kind of behavior. And when we call out violence on the left, their go-to is just, well, it happens on this side too, which is true. Political violence happens on both sides. But when anyone on the right points out this concerning trend, we're seeing violent transgenders. We saw a transgender murderer, school shooter at the Covenant School in Nashville. We saw this most recent transgender shooter in Minnesota at Assumption Catholic School. We saw this, not a transgender, but a LGBTQ killer, assassin who was dating a transgender. We've seen a lot of these transgender, a lot of the takedown Tesla fire bombers throwing Molotov cocktails. A lot of them were gender benders. So when we point out this trend, the Democrats, they go into defense mode and they're trying to defend these people. Like, no, it's not a trend. It's not a trend. It is. It is. We're watching it with our very eyes and they're telling us not to believe our eyes. Now, Democrats have gone totally wild. And when I say this was kind of like the media portion of the show. I want to go into elected officials, sitting politicians who were voted into office, and you can vote them out. If you don't agree with all of this, spread the word. You can vote these people out. Now, Jasmine Crockett, Texas Congresswoman, she was on CNN saying that Charlie would still be alive if there were stricter gun laws. I'm not joking. Listen.
Congresswoman, we've heard the president say that he basically thinks that the political violence problem on the left is worse than the political violence problem on the right. Do you think the political violence problem on the right is worse than what it is on the left?
I think it's a false comparison in the first place. And I think we should have a leader that is responsible enough to denounce political violence, period. It's not about where it comes from. It's about the fact that it is happening. It is never okay. It is never okay if it happens on the left. It is never okay if it happens on the right. And if we had someone that knew how to be an adult in the room, he would say that. But when we look at it, please tell me who is fostering this gun culture, right? I mean, the reality is that the average person on the left probably couldn't make a shot from 200 yards because they haven't been playing with assault rifles since they were a little kid. Like, that is just the reality of how people on the left typically work. And if we believe that political violence is a problem in this country, if we believe that our children on campuses, just because they want to go out and have a day of free speech on campus, may be subjected to this kind of violence, then maybe we need to start talking about legislation that will keep these types of weapons out of certain people's hands.
There are a few things from this clip that I want to break down. First of all, she said that it doesn't matter where violence comes from. I want to say it totally does, especially when it's a pattern and we're calling out this pattern like I was just talking about. Second thing that I want to go into, she said, these kids on campus, they wanted to have a day of free speech. Just a day. Every day is supposed to be that day, Jasmine Crockett. Let me just get that out of the way. It says so in the Constitution. Then she's trying to blame gun owners and people who raise their children to know and understand and respect firearm safety. She's trying to blame them as if the reason this killer shot Charlie Kirk was because he was raised around guns. That's not true. There were a lot of other reasons why we think motivated his killing of Charlie Kirk, and none of them were because he grew up around guns. It was because he was radicalized online to hate Charlie Kirk and people like Charlie Kirk. Now, there are a lot of law-abiding American citizens across every state who are raised around firearms, and they would never commit any atrocities like the one we saw on September 10th or others. And there are no gun control laws that would have prevented Charlie Kirk's death. It is insensitive and it is stupid to say otherwise. Demons with intent to kill do not follow laws. You could put all the laws in place, it won't stop it. And unless you get rid of every single gun on planet Earth, which is impossible, gun violence will take place and innocent lives will be lost. That does not mean we rip up the Constitution in response. And as we know, Democrats are opposed to President Trump's use of National Guard troops to clean up crime in cities. They don't believe in fighting bad guys with good guys and that good guys with guns can prevent bad guys with guns. They don't believe in that. And Tim Walz, he isn't really the poster child for safety after what he allowed to take place during the Summer of Love of 2020 with Minneapolis burning to the ground, but he knows best. Watch this.
That we want to make sure that crime is down. It is, but we can always do better. They should be partners with us. Just this week, they cut our counterterrorism funding, money that we could use to protect schools. We could use it to help fund our police, making sure we could hire more. But I'll tell you what doesn't make people feel safe? A tank next to Chipotle. It's stupid, and it's for the cameras, and you can get into the legal aspect of posse comitatus, but it's foundational. So I keep saying, Jen, where are the don't tread on me people? We were told for years that we needed to be prepared about an overbearing federal government that would step in over local control and actually put troops on the streets. I mean, where are those people? And I would just ask them to rise up. And this isn't the way things should be done. And again, he doesn't really have any interest in stopping the crime. If he did, he would go with the professionals. He would listen to local law enforcement. He would coordinate with us.
Tim Walz, I just want to say, after everything that has happened last week and with the gun violence that happened in his own state, rise up against Trump and the National Guard troops. That is literally what a sitting governor said. Governor Tim Walz said, rise up against President Trump, his administration, and these National Guard troops. That is what he just said on camera. And the reason why people aren't rising up against President Trump and his administration and these National Guard troops is because this is not the fascist dictatorship that Democrats think. We are not living in that alternate reality. That's the Democrats. They think that President Trump is overstepping. They think that this is unnecessary. And again, this is why we have the Second Amendment, right? To rise up against a government when and only when they are infringing on our rights, and we have to rise up to protect ourselves. They have created this reality, this false reality in their heads that we are there. We are at rise up against our government. You are here. We are not. We are not there. Now, over in Memphis, Remember, this isn't just a blue state gotcha type thing. President Trump is sending troops to not just, he teased sending troops to Illinois and other states, other blue states, of course. But President Trump is also sending troops to Memphis, Tennessee. And he teased sending troops to New Orleans, Louisiana. So this is not just a blue state, blue city thing. This is wherever there is crime, we're going to crack down on it because the American people don't deserve to live in fear. Now, this is a Tennessee State Representative Pearson, and he is blaming all of this, of course, on white supremacy. Listen.
We have to deal with the systemic root causes of the problems, and Black communities should not be the place and the pawns for an authoritarian, wannabe dictator, white supremacist game. And that's what we're finding right now with Donald Trump and Bill Lee. And so our resistance has to be vocal, it has to be clear, it has to be coordinated, and it has to show people that we are serious about defending our democracy. These are not benign acts. They are all intentional in an effort to let us be lulled to sleep as our country moves from a democracy into an authoritarian dictatorship.
Why do
this
they
man
think
cares
that?
only about his power, keeping it at all costs, and running through any community and hurting all the people as he does it. In D.C., they brought the National Guard, but you know also who came? ICE. We are going to see this repeating over and over again, the terrorism of our communities, and we have to stand united and we have to fight back against it. But if we do not deal with root causes of poverty, we will never solve the issues that ultimately lead to criminality.
He genuinely said that fighting crime is terrorism. Trying to clean up the cities, that is terrorism. Not the terror of, walking to your car after work at night, not the terror of parking your car in a parking garage at night, or having someone break into your home, or any of the other crime that takes place in these cities on the streets. He says that President Trump trying to step in and fix those problems is terrorism. And yes, it is all based in President Trump's quest for white supremacy, which is, of course, a farce. Now, this is all happening while Democrats are defending criminals and demonizing law enforcement. Here's Exhibit A in Illinois, where State Senator Caronia Villa, she attempted to obstruct ICE in the area. This is in Illinois. Watch this.
Come on.
This is my city. This is my city, that's right. Take off your mask.
Pussies.
Take off your mask.
Fucking bitches.
What?
What?
Stay inside of your houses, everyone. Do not come out. Stay in your houses. Quédense en su casa. Tienen derechos todos. No salgan si no hay una orden firmada por un juez.
I actually think it was hilarious that the ICE agents were she's coming closer and they're just rolling up their window. Get away from us, lady. Like, we actually don't care. We have a job to do. And she's pretending like she's Paul Revere. And she's going around all these houses in the neighborhood saying, stay inside your house. And then she's calling on the ICE agents to take their masks off. Then I don't know who she's walking with. I don't know if it's one of her staffers, but he had the bright idea to call the ICE agents the P word and effing B words and whatever else. I mean, who is that? Is that someone who works in her office who's filming her do that? Again, I saw this on TikTok, and you wouldn't believe the comments, and it's leftists being like, "She's a real woman, and this is a real politician." I mean, they're literally thinking that she's doing something,
and we have no clue the individuals that they're going after could be rapists and murderers.
Great point.
And you know what I'm saying?
Great point, Andy.
Save this murderer in this house. I don't understand it, And then when it all settled down and she got in front of the camera, that was a lot of placating to the camera. I mean, this whole stuff just kills me. Like, they're going after bad people.
Right.
Period.
And if they're not bad people, they did a bad thing. And crimes, whether you have the greatest intention or not, they need to be held accountable. Criminals need to be held accountable. You can, rob a bank because you want a better life for your family. That doesn't make it okay. You can come here illegally because you want a better life for your family. It doesn't make it okay.
But that's not even like, even the people that they're targeting now are violent criminal people. It's
yeah.
We're saying it goes as far as to say if you cross over here, we view that as illegal. Right. And we're giving you an opportunity to self-deport and get on a fast track to be able to come over as a valued citizen. But more than that, these people are criminals. What if the person is just like
a murderer?
Walter Weiss in the house next door baking meth, and she's screaming to tell us to leave. I mean, it's getting ridiculous.
It is getting ridiculous. This is also ridiculous, this next one. So, what did you say?
He's quoting Breaking Bad in here.
I need to watch that, but I probably won't have time for it.
Oh, I knew you wouldn't get that. I knew you wouldn't get that reference, but Justin's laughing. And the chat knows. The chat knows.
Now, the mayor of Dearborn, Michigan, wants a white resident to move out after voicing concerns about a road being named in honor of Osama Siblani, a journalist who has voiced sympathy for, get this, terrorist groups Hamas and Hezbollah. Watch this.
Hezbollah, bombed the embassy in Beirut, and including many Americans. So I just feel it's quite inappropriate.
You are an Islamophobe, and although you live here, I want you to know, as mayor, you are not welcome here. And the day you move out of the city will be the day that I launch a parade celebrating the fact that you moved out of the city, because you are not somebody who believes in coexistence.
He's going to launch a parade when a white man moves out of Dearborn, Michigan. That is because the man who is speaking there is Ted Barham. He's a Christian resident in Dearborn, Michigan, which is now majority Muslim. And the sitting mayor, who's supposed to care about all of his constituents, not just the Muslim ones, clearly doesn't care. He clearly wants this to be a full majority, I would say. And the stance of the mayor is that if you don't support honoring a terror sympathizer, then you shouldn't even live in Dearborn, Michigan. Now, I am not anti-immigration by any means, but I am anti-immigration without assimilation. Because if these people want Americans to bend to their cultural standards, they need to remember what country they are in. This isn't a takeover. Immigration isn't supposed to be a takeover. They're supposed to want to come here and live here and uphold American ideals and values. This is not the American way. We are anti-terrorism, and that shouldn't be a controversial thing to say. Now, what are you guys laughing about? You're distracting me.
We're just making comments about this parade. Like he didn't specify, the mayor didn't, but like if this parade is in honor of me leaving and it's just a big ass parade and I have a huge float in it.
Paid for by the Muslim.
I'll move out tomorrow.
I'm out. Just put me on a fire truck, raise me up like Santa Claus.
I know, but that's what they want. They
get the marching band.
Who wants to live in Dearborn? Get me out of there. I'd buy a house somewhere else, and you get to exit with the parade.
He shouldn't have to leave. I mean, I get why he wouldn't want to live there, but clearly he does.
I mean, that's a win-win. I'm out of Michigan, and I get a parade.
I'm on a fire truck. I'm out. Put me on the fire truck. The high school band playing, marching right in front of me. Theme song, like. That's it. The Shriners,
they should put on a
the
float.
Little guys driving around on the small motorcycles. Like, I'm fired up. Get me out of town, but I want that parade, man.
Yeah, but they'd be celebrating for the other reason. They'd be like, this is the last white man in town, and he's leaving.
I couldn't care. Enjoy your hellhole of Michigan.
Deuces.
I'm out of here. Play the send-off.
Wow. It's hardcore, guys. Anyway, President Trump is in the UK, but Air Force One had a close call in New York with a Spirit Airlines flight. Listen to this audio from air traffic control. Listen to this.
Pay attention, Spirit 1300, turn 20 degrees right. Here at 1300, turn 20 degrees right now. Spinner wings, 1300, turn 20 degrees right immediately. 20 degrees right, pay attention. Here at 1300, traffic's off your left wing by 8 miles, 747. I'm sure you can see who it is. The flight level 320, maintain 330. I'll keep an eye out for him. He's white and blue. Pay attention, get off the iPad.
Pay attention, get off the iPad. He's like, you can tell who this is. The plane's white and blue. Have you seen Air Force One before? It's pretty big. You can't miss it. Shouldn't be able to miss it. However, this Spirit Airlines pilot is just, doing what? I have no idea.
Well, it's the plane to a certain point, it beacons in and it's totally on autopilot. I mean, it's totally on autopilot until it's, the chat will correct me. I know they're probably smart with this, but hundreds of feet off the ground, the pilot can take over and wind and everything else comes a factor. But like it could. Is he just sitting up there watching Netflix?
I don't know, but if someone is yelling at you repeatedly to move because the president, you could put the president at risk of getting hit or worse. I mean, pay attention. That's so concerning. What are your thoughts on Spirit Airlines?
I have flown budget airlines before, but it's been Allegiant. I have flown Allegiant, and I don't think I've ever flown a Spirit flight.
I have.
Ever. I've flown Allegiant, and I think, what's the green one? The Frontier. I believe I've flown Frontier, but Allegiant just flies into the airports that I need to go to. But like I've never been on a Spirit flight. Have you?
Yes, I've been on many a Spirit flight because it's cheap. And when I moved to Nashville, I would fly back to New York a lot to visit my friends, and it was round trip $100, less than $100, and I would go once a month.
That's kind of the way Allegiant is. Yeah.
I have flown Frontier, Allegiant, Spirit. One time I flew a Spirit flight and, I didn't fly it. I was on it, but
I don't think anybody was flying this particular flight we're talking about either.
But it was the worst turbulence ever. I got sick after I got off. It was horrible. But I don't think that was Spirit's fault necessarily. I think it was just
I did fly it was an Allegiant flight out of West Palm going to Asheville, North Carolina, and he overshot the runway, and he realized it about halfway through and pulled up, and we took off almost like
again.
Well, emergency takeoff again, and shot almost vertical back up into the sky.
Great.
And he said, "My bad." He literally actually was like, but it was my bad. And he flew back around and we landed, and he was fist bumping people on the way out saying, "My bad, my bad, my bad."
I would not be fist bumping him. I'd be like, "Thanks a lot for giving me a scare." Someone in the chat said Breeze Airlines is the best. I've flown Breeze as well, and I had good experience. So I don't know.
Is JetBlue a budget air? It's not, is it?
No, I would not put that in that category. No. Anyway, this next story is a cancel culture story. You all know how I feel about cancel culture, but this American tennis player, her name is Taylor Townsend. She was in China for a tournament. And while she was over there, she criticized Chinese food. Listen.
What the hell? What the heliante? This is crazy. I've never seen one of these up close. Make sure you get that. I'm honestly just so shocked at what I saw in the dinner buffet. And as I go back on my Instagram story and I look and I'm like, these people are literally killing frogs. Bullfrogs? Aren't those poisonous? Aren't those the ones that be giving you warts and boils and stuff? And turtles? And the fact that it's all stewed up with chilies and peppers and onions and oh, you really made this a dish. And then you got the sea cucumbers just staring there with the noodles. The only thing that we eating.
Okay, so as you can imagine, because we live in this cancel culture hellhole, people were coming at her saying that, of course, these comments, because how dare she criticize Chinese food, were racist, xenophobic, etc., etc. So then, of course, she had to take back to Instagram. This was the Instagram story that she posted just a few hours ago. Here's her apology.
Hi, everybody. I just wanted to come on here and apologize sincerely from the bottom of my heart. I understand that I am so privileged as a professional athlete to be able to travel all around the world and experience cultural differences, which is one of the things that I love so much about what I do. And I have had nothing but the most amazing experience and time here. And the tournament and everyone has been so kind and so gracious. And the things that I said were not representative of that at all. And I just truly wanted to apologize. There's no excuse, there's no words. And for me, I will be better. I'm really, really thankful to my country to be able to represent them and to be better. And that's all that I can do. So I just truly apologize. And
for what? Apologize for what? Do not apologize. Do not give the cancel culture mob an inch. Because I agreed with everything she said about that food. It looked gross. And I don't want to eat bullfrogs either. And I don't want to eat sea cucumbers either. I will double down on her comments. I don't want to eat any of that. No hate, no shade to anyone who does. But Americans are not used to that kind of cuisine. It is okay to travel abroad and realize that you like American food better. It is okay to travel abroad and feel proud of where you come from and be excited to go back home because we live in the greatest country in the entire world. Do not apologize to chronically online freaks who call you names like racist, xenophobic. Maybe she's just not used to having these terms thrown at her. I could see how that's very scary. Maybe it's her first time. She's not used to the cancel culture warriors coming at her and calling her, racist with no basis. Well, Taylor, welcome to the club. Just because someone calls you racist doesn't mean you are. Keep it moving. And next time, do not apologize because cancel culture is officially canceled.
Or, it could be she just don't want to eat the ass of a raw eel.
And there's no problem with that.
It's like, chill, people.
And
she
don't
just
apologize.
don't want to eat that.
And don't apologize for it. If you don't want to eat, a rat's ass, you shouldn't have to. And you should be able to go on Instagram and say, hey, this is gross. You're allowed to say that. Oh, my goodness. Anyway, should we get into some scrolling time? Let's do it. Anyway, people are kind of cracking me up in the chat. I can't repeat what they're saying, but it's funny. Anyway, since Charlie Kirk's death, people have been resurfacing videos of him. And one of the videos that keeps going viral is a girl getting up at one of these campus debate events and asking Charlie Kirk a question. It was an unconventional question, but she asked him what his Starbucks order was because he always has a Starbucks cup. And Charlie responded that he always gets, I think he said he has like 9 of these a day or some crazy number, but it was a Majesty mint tea with 2 honeys from Starbucks. That was his order because he usually loses his voice from talking so much, which I totally understand. And people were going to Starbucks in Charlie's honor, ordering his order and ordering it with his name on the cup. But some Starbucks barista, likely a leftist, wrote loser on one of the cups of these people that was trying to pay tribute to Charlie. Let's watch. Now it says this girl, Corinna, posted that she tried to order it, and someone at Starbucks, they have been in recent years, not even years, it's been very recent that they're writing messages on cups. But this is like a new Starbucks thing where the baristas write something nice on your cup, or it's supposed to be nice. And this time they wrote loser with a smiley face, likely because it's been going viral that this order is tied to Charlie Kirk. So that's disgusting. But not all of the baristas are bad. Let's play this next one. Do we have number 20? This Starbucks barista, she said that she was all for people It says, as a Starbucks barista, I'm just waiting for someone to come in and order a Mint Majesty with 2 honeys. So there are some good ones out there. They're not all they, them weirdos who hate Charlie Kirk. And there were reports that Starbucks was blocking orders with Charlie's name, but Starbucks came out with a statement saying that that is not the case. I think the real roadblock here with some of these genderqueer baristas is because they had a personal vendetta against Charlie Kirk, not because they had any understanding of his beliefs or why he felt the way that he felt, but because they were lied to about Charlie and his standpoint on the LGBTQ community and other issues. And they were lied to by the mainstream media, and they believed it, hook, line, and sinker. Therefore, they hated Charlie, and they hate the overwhelming support for him. But not everyone who works in the retail space is woke. This retail worker was asked if she supports trans. I don't know why, but here was her response. Watch.
Excuse me, do you support trans rights?
No comment.
No comment's a good answer. Where are we in this world where you just go up to someone and shove your phone in their face and ask them political questions? Like, we've gotten to a weird place. Why does he ask this random woman?
It's been that way for years.
Too long, though. It's just odd. Like, why are you asking this retail worker if she supports trans people? Is it because the person behind the camera was trans? Also, why does that matter? It looks like she's selling some kind of like a hand cream. Who gives a rip what this woman thinks about anything? She's selling you hand cream. Like, why is knowing your political affiliation this prerequisite now where you have to know these things about everyone around you?
And why does that guy's 10 followers need to hear what hand cream lady thinks
because
anyway?
If she, they're probably going to try to cancel her or something. This is the way that the world works now. But I liked her answer. No comment. A nice little chuckle and a no comment. Leave it at that. Now, I have said this. I want to do a full episode on parents and how they should deal with these conversations and how they can raise the next generation to not be psycho freaks of nature who get into violent video games and online chat rooms and furries and trans and they fall down these rabbit holes. How do we fix this, right? Even if kids are raised conservative, Christian, with what we would consider the right values, they still can get indoctrinated in school or, teacher, whatever. Like, this stuff happens. So how do we combat it? I want to do an episode on that. But I found this video on TikTok, and I think this is how parents should deal with this trans issue should it come up with their kids. Watch.
I'm a boy. You're not a boy. Don't ever say that again. You're a girl. You understand me? Yeah. Jesus made you a girl, so you are a girl. It's what you're meant to be and what you'll only ever be. You understand me? Dad, it's a boy. That's correct. I am saying sorry. Thank you. Ah. Hey, you love the body that Jesus gave you, and the body he gave you is that of a girl.
Amen. Amen to that. Just shut it down. That's how you should deal with it. When your daughter looks at you and says, I'm a boy, you say, no, you're not. Problem solved. Problem solved. Andy, you're a dad. Did you ever think that these conversations would be a thing?
I mean,
I feel like parents who are raising kids now are in a whole new world.
Yeah, I don't really feel like it was all that. I mean, I'm 42, so thinking that I was, 8. I mean, the first Facebook came out when I was even like a junior or something in college, and you had to be in college. You have like a college email address to even get on Facebook,
right?
And so from that point until now, it is a completely different world. I mean, 1865 to 1900 looked the same, compared to what these last 20 years have done. I mean, it's just insane how much technology has gotten. We a cell phone in our hands, it's not good. It's not good, and it causes kids to need to grow up faster, and parents they battle with the idea of giving a 5-year-old a cell phone. I would have never.
Kids kids that young should not have cell phones. But I wonder why this girl in the video looked very young, probably like 4 or 5, 6.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was asking Justin. Is this like home security footage?
Yeah,
I mean,
like
are they kind of
something?
putting it up there because like it's a working mom and they have a babysitter or something? That's interesting.
Maybe, but
like no, she looked 4.
Yeah, young. So then it makes you wonder, why does this 4-year-old, let's say, even know to say that? Why would you even say that I'm a boy to your mom when you know that that's not true? Maybe she was just testing the waters, but with everything going on, with just this indoctrination that's going on, it makes you wonder, like, who said that to her? Where did she learn it? Was it on a TV show? Was it someone at her preschool saying that, you know, you could be whatever you want. You could pick your biological sex or whatever.
I don't know that parents are going to have the opportunity to wait to have conversations, like reassuring conversations like this. You mentioned earlier, like, you know, in earlier episodes about talking to children early about this, like this mom is doing.
Yeah.
I mean, you take the shooter that we've just learning a little bit about. He seemed to be from a super normal, respectable family. And he's a genius. He was a 34 to 36 ACT score. I mean, and then the minute that he gets by himself, he's impressionable. And then the indoctrination happens. So, like, it's a war. I mean, not in the physical sense, but in the spiritual and mental sense. Like, you have to talk about this stuff way early than I ever thought.
Yeah.
You would have to talk about this.
Yeah. And someone in the chat just said AI tells kids to commit suicide. I mean, this is where we're going. I mean, you have to, if you are a parent in 2025 and beyond, you have to protect your child from everything, things that you never even thought that you would have to protect them from. Phones, internet, computer, AI, their own teachers.
Cartoons.
Just everything.
It's indoctrinated, and some schools, I mean, there were children's books in our small little hometown elementary school's library about 2 zoo animals that were a boy, a girl and a girl, and they had a little girl, and they were so proud of having a little. It just seeps into everything. It's ubiquitous.
Don't even get
it's
me started.
Everywhere.
Don't even get me started. I think I have 7 friends who are pregnant right now. So all of my friends are pregnant. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And anytime I go into a bookstore and I'm trying to get a children's book, because a lot of these baby showers, they ask you to bring a book or something in lieu of a card or whatever it is. And they have the ABCs of vaccines, and like they had COVID baby books and Black Lives Matter baby books. I'm like, what? Who is buying this? And then who is reading this to their kid? But it's out there, so clearly there's a market for it.
It's like nobody reads Dr. Seuss
like,
anyway, which
where
is like
Goodnight
all I
Moon?
was read.
Where is someone get me Goodnight Moon? Someone get me a classic. I am not buying the
Cat in the Hat.
ABCs of COVID-19 or whatever. It's just totally insane.
Well, and the scary thing is it is a culture war, and I do not know when it's going to get any better. It's a scary thing. So unless the culture war can be won and the media can win, the film industry can win, the networks can win, cartoons can win, children's materials can win, unless better values and such make their way into those mediums. It's super scary.
Well, this mom has a great way of protecting her baby. Watch this. It says, I get scared strolling my baby around in public. She lifts up her shirt. She's strapped, and she says, then I remember I'm a GD American. Gosh darn American. Can we get an eagle screech for that one? That's the mom I aspire to be, but Justin and I have to go to the shooting range. That's our plan. Justin and I are going to get our concealed carries. I'm going to get strapped, everyone. Don't mess with me. I'm going to be strapped soon. Thank you for scrolling along with me. I had a lot of fun. This was a fun hour. It went fast today. I feel like it went fast. Thank you for joining me. If you were watching on X, Facebook, and you're here on Rumble now, wonderful. Welcome. Also, if you've been watching, tell a friend. Share it. Share the episode. Share it to your Instagram story. Tag me. I'll share it to mine as well. Spread the word about the show. I have so much fun putting it together and so much fun presenting all the news to you and all this stuff that I find online. I think it's fun. I'm glad you're enjoying it. And thank you for watching. So if you want more, you can follow me on social media at Hayley Caronia. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. I am on X. And I am on Truth Social. For all the stuff in between. So I will see you right back here tomorrow.